Celebrity relationships. They're just like ours, except with more money, more drama, and way more lawyers. Case in point, the sensational saga of Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Ventura. Now, I love a good celebrity feud as much as the next gal, but this one takes the cake, or should I say, the Bentley. Buckle up because we're diving headfirst into the ridiculousness of it all. This isn't your mama's courtroom drama. It's a full-blown comedic opera with a hip-hop beat. Our story begins, as many do, with love, or at least its expensive facsimile. Diddy and Cassie, a rapper and a singer respectively, were the picture of glamour and success. They dated for over a decade, gracing red carpets and Instagram feeds with their love. But like a cheap weave in a rainstorm, it all came crashing down. Cue the dramatic music and the even more dramatic legal filings. Their breakup wasn't just a personal matter, it was a full-blown financial spectacle, complete with lawsuits, countersuits, and enough legal jargon to make your head spin. It was messier than a toddler's birthday party, and twice as entertaining. So, grab your popcorn, settle in, and get ready for a wild ride through the wonderful world of celebrity justice. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single subpoena. Section 2, The Love Boat Hits a Legal Reef, a timeline of absurdity. First came the news of their split, shocking, I know, right? Two beautiful, successful people breaking up? Unheard of. Then came the whispers, the rumors, the speculation. Was it amicable? Was it messy? Did someone forget to sign a prenup? The answer, my friends, was a resounding, oh honey, you better believe it was messy. Cassie, bless her heart, filed a lawsuit against Diddy. Now you might be thinking, what's a few $1,000,000 between exes? And to that I say, have you met lawyers? Cassie claimed that Diddy owed her a cool $1,000,000. The reason? Apparently, Diddy had promised her this sum if they ever parted ways, and she felt used and controlled during their relationship. I mean, who needs therapy when you can just sue your ex, right? Diddy, never one to back down from a legal brawl, denied these claims faster than you can say bad boy for life. He claimed he didn't owe her a dime, and thus began the legal equivalent of a rap battle, with lawyers firing off filings and counter-filings. It was enough to make even the most seasoned legal eagle reach for a stiff drink and a stress ball. Section 3, Gift Horse, Open Court, the curious case of the returned Bentley. Here's where things take a turn for the truly bizarre, even for Hollywood standards. Remember that $1,000,000 Cassie claimed Diddy owed her? Well, it turns out that a good chunk of that sum was allegedly tied to a very specific gift. A Bentley. Yes, you read that right. A Bentley. Apparently nothing says I love you like a luxury car that costs more than most people's houses. Diddy, in his infinite wisdom, allegedly demanded the return of the Bentley. I'm not sure what's funnier, the fact that he asked for it back, or the fact that he apparently thought he could actually get away with it. It's like returning a sweater your grandma knitted you, except the sweater is a luxury vehicle and your grandma is a hip-hop mogul. This whole Bentley debacle just adds another layer of absurdity to an already ridiculous situation. It's like something out of a sitcom, but with a significantly higher legal budget. And it gets even better because it turns out that Cassie actually complied with the request. She returned the Bentley, proving that even in the midst of a legal battle, some things are just too ridiculous to fight about. Section 4, The Price of Freedom, $1 million reasons to say goodbye. Now let's talk numbers because that's where things get really interesting. Cassie's lawsuit wasn't just about hurt feelings and a pre-owned Bentley, it was about cold, hard cash. A cool $1,000,000 to be exact. That was the price tag she put on their split, the alleged cost of her freedom from this tumultuous relationship. Was it a lot of money? Absolutely. Was it surprising? Not in the slightest. This is Hollywood, after all, where love is a transaction and breakups are a business opportunity. It's enough to make you want to swear off love altogether and just invest in a good pair of sweatpants and a Netflix subscription. But here's the thing. Diddy ultimately agreed to pay a portion of the sum. That's right, he actually agreed to hand over a big chunk of change to make this whole thing go away. Now, I'm no legal expert, but that sounds an awful lot like an admission of guilt, wrapped in a wad of cash and delivered with a side of, please make this go away. Section 5, Love, Lawyers, and Liquidity, Diddy's expensive breakup. Let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer amount of money being thrown around in this whole ordeal. We're talking about a world where $1,000,000 lawsuits are settled with a shrug and a wire transfer. A world where lawyers are on retainer and Bentleys are bargaining chips. It's enough to make your head spin, especially if you're like me and your biggest financial concern is whether you can afford guacamole with your burrito. But hey, that's the life of the rich and famous, right? They have problems just like us, except their problems involve private jets, designer handbags, and legal teams that could rival a small country's GDP. And while I'm sure Diddy wasn't thrilled about having to shell out a small fortune to his ex-girlfriend, something tells me he'll be just fine. After all, this is a man who once threw a party that cost millions of dollars, so I think he can handle a little legal fee here and there. Section 6. From bad boy to sugar daddy in the court of public opinion. This wasn't just a legal battle, it was a public relations nightmare, especially for Diddy. He went from being the bad boy of hip-hop to the poster child for every scorned woman's fantasy of revenge. The internet, being the internet, had a field day with the whole thing. Memes were created, jokes were cracked, and Diddy's name became synonymous with sugar daddy for a solid week. It was a masterclass in how to completely destroy your carefully crafted public image in one fell swoop. But here's the thing about public opinion. It's fickle. Just when you think someone's career is over, they bounce back with a catchy new song or a lucrative endorsement deal. And let's be real, Diddy is nothing if not resilient. I'm sure he'll weather this storm too, even if it means releasing a new fragrance called Ode to Settlement or something equally ridiculous. Section 7. Celebrity Justice, A World of Different Rules. The whole Diddy-Cassie saga raises some interesting questions about fairness, justice, and whether celebrities play by a different set of rules. It's easy to judge and scoff at the absurdity of it all, but it's also a reminder that the world of the rich and famous operates on a completely different axis than the one most of us inhabit. And while it's tempting to get caught up in the drama and the gossip, it's important to remember that at the end of the day, these are real people with real problems, even if their problems are amplified by fame and fortune. So the next time you find yourself scrolling through social media, aghast at the latest celebrity scandal, take a deep breath and remember, it's all just entertainment. And if you're ever lucky enough to date a multimillionaire, for the love of all that is holy, get a good lawyer and make sure you sign a prenup. Section 8. Laugh now, cry later, the comedic tragedy of it all. There's a certain comedic tragedy to this whole saga. On the one hand, it's hilarious to watch these ridiculously wealthy people air their dirty laundry in such a public and expensive manner. It's like a real-life soap opera, complete with over-the-top drama and questionable life choices. But on the other hand, it's also a little bit sad. At the heart of it, this is a story about a relationship that failed, and that's never funny. It's a reminder that money can't buy happiness, but it can buy you a really good lawyer, which, let's be honest, is probably the next best thing. So, as we laugh at the absurdity of it all, let's also take a moment to acknowledge the very real human emotions at play. Love, loss, betrayal, revenge. These are universal themes that transcend wealth and status. And even if we can't relate to the specifics of Diddy and Cassie's situation, we can all relate to the messy, complicated nature of relationships. Section 9. Conclusion. Lessons from the land of bling and breakups. So, what have we learned from this whirlwind tour of celebrity justice? Well, for starters, we've learned that even in the land of bling and breakups, money talks. We've learned that love is a battlefield, especially when lawyers are involved. And we've learned that sometimes the best way to deal with a ridiculous situation is to just laugh at the absurdity of it all. But perhaps the most important lesson here is this: don't date Diddy. Or if you do, make sure you have a good lawyer and a rock-solid prenup. Because when it comes to celebrity love, the only thing more certain than a lavish wedding is a messy, expensive divorce.